Few martial artists have revolutionized action cinema like Tony Jaa. His explosive debut in 2003's Ong Bak showcased Muay Thai to the world in ways never seen before. Without wires, without CGI, without doubles. Just raw talent, decades of training, and a fearlessness that left audiences worldwide in awe. But if you've spent any time on social media recently, you might have heard some shocking claims. That Tony Jaa is serving a life sentence in prison, that his career imploded due to legal battles, or that he disappeared from the spotlight under mysterious circumstances. What happened to Tony Jaa? Isn't he in prison? I heard he got a life sentence. The rumors spread like wildfire, with each retelling becoming more dramatic than the last. Today, we're separating fact from fiction. What really happened to Tony Jaa? The true story is actually more fascinating than the rumors. A tale of creative ambition, contract disputes, spiritual transformation, and an impressive comeback that deserves to be told accurately. So before you click away, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll understand the real challenges this martial arts legend faced and how he overcame them to reclaim his place in cinema history. Because sometimes, the truth is more compelling than fiction. Let's address the biggest misconception right away. Tony Jaa is not in prison. He has never been imprisoned and is certainly not serving a life sentence. This bizarre rumor appears to stem from a classic case of fiction being confused with reality, amplified by the echo chamber of social media. In 2015, Jaa starred in SPL 2, A Time for Consequences, also known as Kill Zone 2, an action-packed thriller where he played a prison guard in a Thai prison. The film features intense scenes of prison violence and corruption, with Jaa's character navigating this dangerous environment. Somehow, over time, this fictional role morphed into rumors that Jaa himself had been incarcerated. It's a perfect example of how easily the lines between actors and their characters can blur in public perception, especially for action stars who often maintain a mysterious aura. When these rumors began circulating, Jaa was actually very active professionally. Far from being behind bars, he was filming multiple projects, appearing at events and regularly posting on his social media accounts. A simple check of his Instagram or Facebook would have immediately disproven these claims. But as we know, misinformation travels faster than verification. The confusion was likely amplified by another fact from Jaa's life: his temporary ordination as a Buddhist monk in 2010. While this was a significant personal decision that temporarily took him away from the spotlight, it's also a common cultural practice in Thailand, where many men temporarily enter monastic life as part of their spiritual journey. In Thai culture, becoming a monk for a period, even briefly, is a deeply respected tradition. For many Thai men, it's a way to honor their parents, particularly their mothers, and to gain spiritual merit. Far from being unusual, it's a practice that countless Thai men participate in at some point in their lives. Some who weren't familiar with this tradition might have misinterpreted his stepping away from the spotlight as evidence of something more sinister. But in reality, it was a deliberate spiritual choice during a challenging time in his career. So, if you're still wondering if Tony Jaa is locked up somewhere, the answer is definitively no. He's been consistently working as an actor, appearing at events, and living his life in full public view. The prison story is nothing more than an internet myth that spiraled out of control. To truly understand Tony Jaa's story, we need to go back to the beginning. Born Panam Yirum in 1976 in a rural village in Surin Province, Thailand, Jaa grew up in poverty, the son of elephant herders. From an early age, he was captivated by martial arts films, particularly those of Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li. Without money for formal training, young Panam would watch martial arts films at a temple in his village, and then practice the moves on his own. He also studied the traditional martial art of Muay Thai, beginning his training at the age of 10. His dedication caught the attention of action choreographer and director Pana Ridikrai, who became his mentor. Under Ridikrai's guidance, Jaa worked as a stuntman for years, patiently honing his craft while dreaming of someday becoming a star in his own right. That opportunity finally came with Ong Bak in 2003. The film, with its showcase of traditional Muay Thai and jaw-dropping stunts performed without wires or computer effects, catapulted Jaa to international fame. Audiences had never seen anything like it. A fighter who combined the acrobatic grace of Jackie Chan with the explosive power of traditional Muay Thai. Ong Bak was followed by Tom Yum Goong, released internationally as The Protector in 2005, which featured the now legendary single-take staircase fight scene. Jaa's star was rising rapidly, and it seemed like nothing could stop his momentum. But behind the scenes, the foundations for future challenges were already being laid. While Tony Jaa never faced imprisonment, he did experience very real professional challenges that threatened his career. At the heart of these challenges was his contractual relationship with Sahamongkol Film, the company that had launched his career with Ong Bak. Following his international breakthrough, Jaa found himself bound by a restrictive contract that reportedly paid him a modest salary that didn't reflect his growing global fame. Some sources suggest as little as $600 per month, though exact figures have been disputed. More problematically, it severely limited his ability to work on projects outside the studio, even as directors from Hollywood and across Asia were eager to collaborate with him. As his initial 10-year contract neared its end around 2013, tensions escalated. Sahamongkol claimed they had already extended his contract for another decade, a renewal Jaa disputed. According to reports, the renewal notice had been sent not to Jaa himself, but to his estranged sister in Surin province, who allegedly signed it without his knowledge or consent. Jaa publicly described the situation as business slavery, expressing frustration at being unable to pursue opportunities that could advance his international career. The situation came to a head when Jaa accepted a role in Fast and Furious 7, which represented his major Hollywood breakthrough. The lawsuit threatened to derail not just his Hollywood debut, but also other projects like Skin Trade with Dolph Lundgren and SPL2, A Time for Consequences. The dispute even led to A Man Will Rise, a film co-starring Dolph Lundgren, being left unfinished. Perhaps most dramatically, Sahamongkol temporarily blocked the release of Fast and Furious 7 in Thailand, preventing Jaa's home audience from seeing his Hollywood debut. The legal battle also affected Jaa's domestic projects. His 2013 film Tom Yum Goong 2 reportedly underperformed at the box office, partly because Jaa refused to promote it due to the ongoing legal tensions with Sahamongkol. However, in July 2015, the parties reached an unexpected settlement. While the specific terms weren't disclosed, Jaa released a statement confirming that, with the assistance of all relevant parties, Sahamongkol and he had settled their differences and ended all legal actions against each other. This resolution finally freed Jaa to pursue his international career without the constraints that had held him back for years. But it came at a cost. During these prime years, when he should have been capitalizing on his breakthrough success, he was instead entangled in legal battles that limited his opportunities and momentum. The dispute highlights the vulnerable position in which many actors, particularly those from outside the Hollywood system, can find themselves. Without the protective infrastructure of powerful agencies and entertainment lawyers from the beginning of their careers, talented performers can end up in restrictive deals that don't grow with their success. Perhaps the most challenging period in Jaa's career came during the troubled production of Ong Bak 2, which began in 2006. Riding high from his success in the original film, Jaa made an ambitious move to direct the sequel himself, while also starring in it and handling the action choreography. What started as a passion project quickly became overwhelming. The film's budget, initially set at around 100 million baht, approximately $3 million, reportedly ballooned to over 300 million baht as production dragged on far beyond its scheduled completion date. Jaa, who had formed his own production company called Jaa Arpa Pictures in partnership with Sahamongkol, found himself juggling multiple roles: director, star, action choreographer, and producer. For someone with no formal directorial training, this proved to be an enormous challenge. The film's elaborate period setting, extensive cast, and ambitious action sequences all contributed to the mounting costs and delays. As weeks turned into months and months into years, pressure from investors and the studio grew increasingly intense. Ara Pojitawar Prayer, whose family ran Sahamongkol, later commented that Jaa was under immense pressure, noting that he needed time away from production just to concentrate on choreographing the film's complex fight sequences. The pressure became unbearable. In June 2008, midway through production, Jaa disappeared from the set. For weeks, no one could reach him, sparking concerns throughout the Thai film industry. His mentor, director Panna Ridikrai, even searched meditation caves thinking Jaa might have retreated there to find peace. The disappearance sent shockwaves through the Thai film industry and led to widespread speculation. Had the pressure broken him? Was there something else going on behind the scenes? The production was left in limbo, with millions of baht already spent and no clear path forward. When Jaa finally resurfaced, he appeared exhausted and emotionally drained. It emerged that he had personally covered some production costs and was facing serious financial difficulties. There were reports that he couldn't even pay his mortgage and that his electricity had been cut off at home. The dream project had turned into a nightmare. Sahamongkol eventually took control of the project, bringing in Panna Ridikrai to finish directing. The studio decided to split the material into two films, Ong Bak 2 and Ong Bak 3, a decision that affected the narrative coherence of both. What was meant to be Jaa's ambitious historical martial arts epic became two fragmented films that, while containing spectacular action sequences, didn't achieve the cohesive vision he had originally sought. For Jaa, it was a devastating creative and personal setback. The experience had taken a toll not just on his finances, but on his mental and emotional well-being. In May 2010, following these turbulent events and the release of Ong Bak 3, he made a dramatic decision that surprised many fans. He temporarily ordained as a Buddhist monk, stepping away from the film industry to focus on spiritual renewal. While some in the Western media misinterpreted this as a permanent retirement or some kind of exile, it was in fact a culturally significant spiritual practice. For Jaa, it offered a period of reflection and peace after years of chaos. Tony Jaa's decision to become a Buddhist monk in 2010 marked a significant turning point in his life and career. Rather than a sign of defeat, as some Western media outlets portrayed it, his ordination was a culturally meaningful step that allowed him to reconnect with his spiritual roots during a turbulent time. In Thailand, it's a common tradition for men to temporarily ordain as Buddhist monks at some point in their lives. This practice, known as Buat Phrai, is seen as a way to gain spiritual merit, honor one's parents, and deepen one's understanding of Buddhist teachings. For Jaa, who had been raised in a deeply Buddhist cultural context, this period of monastic life provided a structured environment for reflection after the chaotic production of Ong Bak 2 and Ong Bak 3, and the subsequent financial and professional challenges. While details of his time as a monk remain private, those who have gone through similar experiences often describe it as a period of simplicity, discipline, and mindfulness. Monks typically wake before dawn, eat only before noon, abstain from entertainment and luxuries, and spend considerable time in meditation and studying Buddhist texts. This stark contrast to the high-pressure world of filmmaking likely provided Jaa with a much-needed perspective shift. Though he didn't speak much publicly about this period, it clearly represented a time of healing and recalibration. Contrary to rumors that he had permanently withdrawn from the entertainment industry, Jaa eventually completed his period of monastic practice and returned to secular life, ready to rebuild his career. The discipline and focus cultivated during his time as a monk would serve him well in the challenges that still lay ahead. After spending time in monastic life, Jaa returned to acting, but his career revival wasn't immediate. The contract disputes with Sahamongkol continued to limit his opportunities until their resolution in 2015. His return to the screen came with 2013's Tom Yum Goong 2, released internationally as The Protector 2. But the film received mixed reviews and wasn't the triumphant comeback many had hoped for. Unlike the original, which had showcased practical stunts, the sequel relied heavily on wire work and special effects, diluting what had made Jaa's earlier work so distinctive. However, once legally freed from his contractual constraints in 2015, Jaa began rebuilding his international career in earnest. His Hollywood debut in Fast and Furious 7 marked the beginning of this new chapter. Though his role as Kiet was relatively small, it introduced him to mainstream American audiences and opened doors for future projects. This was followed by roles in XXX Return of Xander Cage, 2017, alongside Vin Diesel, where he played Talon, a martial arts expert. In 2019, he joined forces with other martial arts stars, including Iko Uwais and Tiger Chen, for Triple Threat, returning to the kind of action-heavy role that had made him famous. In recent years, Jaa has continued to expand his presence in both Eastern and Western productions. He appeared in Monster Hunter, 2020, alongside Milla Jovovich, where his parkour and martial arts background helped him portray the Hunter. In Detective Chinatown 3, 2021, he demonstrated his range by taking on a more comedic role as Kobashi. In 2023, Jaa joined the ensemble cast of The Expendables 4, playing Daecha alongside action legends like Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham. He also starred in Jija the Paradox and Paradox 2, further cementing his comeback in Asian action cinema. Far from being imprisoned or forgotten, Jaa has been actively building a diverse filmography. He's also taking greater control of his career, stepping into an executive producer role for an upcoming Muay Thai trilogy backed by Stars Collective and Thailand's Film Odyssey. The project, which will feature Jaa as Surya, a gifted fighter who travels back in time to the Ayutthaya period of Thai history, represents a return to his cultural roots while pushing his artistic boundaries. On a personal level, Jaa has maintained a stable family life throughout these professional ups and downs. He married his longtime girlfriend, Piarat Choti Watananont, in 2012, and they have 2 daughters together. His social media accounts regularly show him training, spending time with his family, and working on new projects, a far cry from the imprisoned criminal some internet rumors would have you believe. As we look at Tony Jaa's career in its entirety, his impact on martial arts cinema cannot be overstated. Before Ong Bak, Muay Thai had rarely been showcased in international action films with such authenticity and raw power. Jaa's work helped put this ancient martial art on the global map. His commitment to performing his own stunts without wires or digital effects raised the bar for action filmmaking and influenced a generation of martial arts stars who followed. The no fake, no computer graphics, no wire work approach of his early films represented a return to the physical authenticity that had made earlier martial arts stars like Jackie Chan legendary. Jaa's influence can be seen in the subsequent rise of other Southeast Asian action stars and films, including Indonesia's Iko Uwais in the Raid series and the increasing international visibility of martial arts cinema from the region. Beyond his technical contributions, Jaa's career trajectory offers valuable lessons about the challenges facing international stars trying to navigate both local and global film industries. His struggles with contracts, creative control, and the pressure of sudden fame highlight the less glamorous realities of the entertainment business. His story also demonstrates remarkable resilience. From rural poverty to international stardom, through creative burnout, legal battles, spiritual renewal, and career resurgence, Jaa has consistently found ways to reinvent himself and overcome obstacles. His story also demonstrates remarkable resilience. From rural poverty to international stardom, through creative burnout, legal battles, spiritual renewal, and career resurgence, Jaa has consistently found ways to reinvent himself and overcome obstacles. Now in his late 40s, Jaa continues to maintain the physical conditioning that made him famous, adapting his style to accommodate the natural changes that come with age while still delivering impressive performances. Like Jackie Chan and other martial arts stars before him, he has evolved from performing the most dangerous stunts himself to a more sustainable approach that preserves his health while still showcasing his skills. As he balances Hollywood projects with Asian productions and develops his own creative ventures, Jaa seems to have found a sustainable path forward, one that honors his martial arts roots while embracing new opportunities. Tony Jaa's story isn't one of imprisonment or disgrace. It's a complex tale of an extraordinarily talented martial artist navigating the challenges of international stardom. From contractual battles to creative burnout, to spiritual renewal and ultimately career resurgence, his journey reflects the very real pressures faced by action stars, particularly those trying to transition from local fame to global recognition. The next time you hear outlandish claims about Tony Jaa or any celebrity, remember how easily fiction can be confused with fact, especially in the age of social media. A little research often reveals a story far more nuanced and human than sensationalist rumors would suggest. Jaa's actual story of creative ambition, professional struggle, and personal resilience is far more compelling than any prison rumor. It's a reminder that behind the spectacular stunts and fighting sequences, there are real people dealing with real challenges. As Tony Jaa continues to evolve as an actor and filmmaker, his legacy as one of martial arts cinema's most influential figures remains secure. His pioneering showcase of Muay Thai and his commitment to performing his own dangerous stunts have influenced a generation of action filmmaking. From the rural villages of Surin Province to Hollywood blockbusters, Jaa's journey embodies the power of determination, cultural pride, and the willingness to reinvent oneself after setbacks. Far from being behind bars, he's continuing to break new ground and inspire martial arts enthusiasts worldwide. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the real stories behind other action stars, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below telling us which martial arts legend you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, this is Global TV, separating fact from fiction in the world of action cinema.